The Floating Life, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was so beautiful. I loved how they moved through the different like chapters or different sections, and how everything about each section felt very different from the previous one. You had different, and for being in black and white, you had each section felt very different. There were times that were much darker and much grittier, and then times that were much lighter and felt much more fluid. And to go from one to the next was so natural and had such a great progression from like moving you through it, which I think the music had a lot to do with as well, because the music for me is what kind of kept me going from one kind of section into the next. It's what kept me connected the entire time as you're getting the as the dancing changes, as you know, the partnerships and the dynamics, as all of those change as you're watching it. The music is what kept me going from one part of it to the next. It's what truly connected me from beginning to end. And I thought that it was really, really, like I said, beautiful. And there was this kind of like fluid quality to it, not necessarily within every single piece of it. Like there were, you know, moments that weren't as fluid, obviously, but the overall effect that I got was the kind of fluid movement that time and nature get you, where if you know, are talking about history in the terms of humans, your personal history, your, you know, whatever that is very short. But when you talk about it like in terms of geology and in terms of time, a lot of the time you're talking about a much larger section. And the changing of landscape, the changing of, you know, how things look and things progress, the change is so small when you're talking about the span of a human, but it's so noticeable when you're talking about the span of like a mountain or, you know, nature and things like that. And I think that for me, it kind of had this quality of this kind of like fluid, natural movement that I personally always equate to the movement of nature and the movement of time.
I really liked the floating life. I thought it was very impressive to the choreography. Um like it looked hard. It looked like it could not be easy. These people look like they put the work in, you know. The extra work to be extraordinary. So I thought that was cool. And if those people are going to be performing at dancing choreography at that level, the filmmaking has to match, and I think the filmmaking matched, you know, like as far as like doing that level of performance justice, everything else has to be on point to give it that, you know. And I think the everything was on point as far as the lighting, cinematography, sound, editing, all working to service the um dancing. I thought it all linked up and created synergy, you know. Overall, really well done. Great job.
I really liked what the filmmakers did with the opacity in this, how there were so many things that were, you know, a screen and overlay on each other. I thought that that was really, really cool. It was very creative. I loved what they did with the silks. I think some of this in here was AI and some of it was live action, but they blended it really nicely to where that line was almost unperceptible. So that was great. Black and white was done really, really well. And I love the starkness of the set, how there were things that in the beginning it was all white, and then every once in a while it would switch to like an all black set, and the wardrobe would change, and it was just those stark differences really kept your attention, and the dancers did great. They were amazing.
The Floating Life has this nice black and white world that is crisp and clean and pristine and like almost encapsulating a piece of art which is dance itself, and the movement is just really fluid and makes it at times feel as if these people are floating through life. You get to see these nice movements of not only the bodies but the fabrics and, the different approaches when it comes to the use of makeup, the use of clothes and the props that they bring in. You can definitely sense this act of cultural appreciation, and there's this sense of not only intention but delicacy that goes within this. So you find this sense of peacefulness and fluidity within this dance movement of choreography in this piece.